Hello and welcome to the Algebra 1 course, Chapter 1, Lesson 1, Evaluating Expressions by Substitution. My name is Mr. Isom and I'm going to be going through this course with you, and hopefully by the end of the course you will be able to better understand Algebra 1 and its concepts, and hopefully be able to teach the lesson to someone, whether that be a son or daughter of yours going through the course, or a family member um, that may be going through the course or struggling. You will be able to teach them, and by understanding the concepts that we're going over right now. So in this lesson, there are three objectives. One, we're going to be understanding what a variable is and its purpose. Two, understanding what an expression is and the difference between an expression and an equation. And three, evaluating or solving expressions with a given value for the variables by using a technique called substitution. So in this lesson, we have two vocabulary words. One is variable, which is any unknown or known quantity represented by a letter. And normally, you're going to see a variable with an x, y, or z, but it can be anything. It can be anything that you represent it as long as it's not another number. We can do one of two things with variables. We can solve for them, which is what we'll do when we have equations. Or two, we're already going to be giving a value in the problem and substituting that value in for the variable, which is what we're going to be focusing on in this section. The second vocabulary word is algebraic expression, which is a fancy way of saying that it's a numerical sentence with a variable and no equal sign. So an algebraic expression may have a variable and a constant, which is another number, or a coefficient, a variable and a constant, but it does not have an equal sign, and it has at least a variable, and it can have a constant tacked onto it, whether that be added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided, but it does not have to. Some examples are x plus 3, 2x plus 5, 4z minus 5, and you can come up with your own, that's fine, etc. But those are examples of algebraic expressions. So we have our first example here. We have x plus 3, or x equals 6. And so our goal is to find what this expression equals when x equals 6. So to solve x plus 3, or x equals 6, we need to substitute 6 wherever you see an x in the problem. So wherever you see an x, you need to put a 6 in there. And so to do that, we just simply replace the x with a 6, and we have 6 plus 3, and 6 plus 3 is 9. And that is our answer. So our second example is 4x minus 5, where x equals 4. And so we have to think, what is our variable and what does it equal? So in this problem, our variable is x, our unknown is x, and it equals 4. So we need to solve by substituting or replacing the x, and we need to replace it by putting a 4 in there. And so we have 4x minus 5. So 4 times 4 minus 5, and 4 times 4 is 16, minus 5 is equal to 11. And 11 is our answer. Okay, so if you didn't understand that one, you can pause the video and try it again. But if you did, that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. So here we have some guided practice problems. We have 2 guided practice problems. I encourage you to do them, to stop the video and to do them. And then if you get the right answer, fantastic. Okay, so I will be solving both of these in a few minutes. So I encourage you to pause the video and do them out, and then come back to the video and see if you get the right answers. So hopefully you went through the process of solving these by substitution. So the first one is 5y minus 12, where y equals 12. And so we substitute y equals 12. So we substitute our 12 in for y, and we get 5 times 12 minus 12. 5 times 12 is 60, minus 12, and you get the answer 48. So you should have got the answer 48. If you did, fantastic. If not, try it again. Try it again, see where you made a mistake, and fix it. For the second problem, we have 16 minus 3z, where z equals 6. So we are replacing the z with a 6 and solving. So we get 16 minus 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. So we get 16 minus 18. And I like to tell my students, when we have a positive and a negative number, put the positive number first, and it's much easier to subtract going down than adding going up when we have negatives. So we have 16 minus 18, and 16 minus 18 is a negative 2. And so we should have gotten negative 2 for that answer. Once again, if you didn't get the negative 2, stop the video, try it again, and see if you get it this time. Our last example deals with 2 variables in an expression. And so we have 5x minus 4y, x equals 4, and y equals 7. So just like before, wherever you see an x, you replace it with a 4, and wherever you see a y, we replace it with a 7. So we have 5 times 4 minus 4 times 7. And so 5 times 4 is 20, minus 4 times 7, which is 28. We're subtracting 28 from 20, and we get a negative 8. For our second example, we have 6x minus 3z, where x equals 4 and z equals 5. Once again, wherever you see an x, we're substituting a 4 in for it, and wherever you see a z, we're putting a 5 in for that. And so we have 6 times 4 minus 3 times 5. 6 times 4 is 24. 3 times 5 is 15. So we're substituting, we're subtracting 15 from 24, and we get the answer of 9. So pretty straightforward. Once again, if you didn't get these answers, stop the video, try it again, and see if you follow along. All right. Hopefully, once you do more problems, you'll understand it a little better, and you'll be able to solve them pretty quickly. So the recap for this lesson, we learned what a variable is and an expression, what that was. And we also learned how to solve expressions by substituting given values for variables. So we were given a value for the variable. We replaced that value. We replaced that variable for that value and solved the expression. In the next lesson, which is chapter 1, lesson 2, we'll be going over how to solve expressions using the order of operations. So the order of operations is a technique that you use to solve expressions with various different operations in it, and you have to do them in a certain order, and that is called order of operations. So we're going to go over that and do some examples in the next lesson regarding the order of operations. So I'm about to wrap up this video, and I'll see you in the next one.